Yo! Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with the final chapter of the Jujutsu Kaisen manga. And real quick, I do want to start this video off with an apology.
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment.
Earlier, I made a video, it was about a 9-minute video, and I covered the 5 to 6 pages that we had gotten from the leaks at this point. I don't know what was going on with the leaks. There's a bunch of delays and all this good stuff, but regardless, I made the video, gave my opinion, and that's something I should not have done. I should have waited patiently until everything was out, until I had full information, because I missed very crucial parts of this entire chapter. So I unfortunately took part in the toxic leak culture that I speak down upon, and because, you know, I got anxious, I wanted to get out as quickly as possible. Regardless of the excuse that I say, that was wrong with me. I apologize. The video is now down, so my bad, guys. I apologize. And I don't want to close out my thoughts on the series with something like that, because there's a lot of good stuff in this final chapter, man. So yeah, I know a lot of people have been, especially talking about the past 3 or 4 chapters or so, talking about the ending of Jujutsu Kaisen. A lot of people aren't feeling it. I was cautiously optimistic. There were definitely some things that I was not feeling. I was not necessarily trying to understand why we needed simple domain lore this late in the game, but you know, definitely there are things that I would have wanted to see. But this chapter, I think, does solidify Jujutsu Kaisen's ending. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it here in this video. But as usual, guys, please make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. We are on our way to 10,000 subscribers. We're at 9.8 subscribers, 9.8K. Oh my God, dude! If we get to 10K by the end of like middle of October, that'd be great. And plus, I would love to have you around the community. You seem very nice. You seem like you give good hugs. All right, without further ado, guys, let's get into the video. So we start off on the first couple of pages. On page 1, we have Yuji, Nobara, and Megumi attempting to find the curse user that is putting a curse on this woman and making her appear to hallucinate. She's seeing her boyfriend in this weird, almost basilisk from Elden Ring type image, and so Yuji, Nobara, and Megumi are trying to formulate a plan on how to locate him. We have some cute stuff on their strategy. Yuji and Nobara are, you know, being the brain cellless duo that we all know and love, and Megumi is, you know, being the only one with a brain, and, you know, being the only one that can actually, you know, do something. And it's funny, actually. So, and actually, myself and many other people missed this dynamic. I'm glad that Gege is giving this to us now in the bookend, because for now this is business as usual, and we'll talk about it here in a second as well. But I really love seeing all 3 of these kids just kind of being goofy, living their lives, going up to all sorts of hijinks. This is exactly what Yuji's grandfather was telling him about, to surround yourself with people before you die. Not in a sense of jujutsu higher-ups saying, hey man, lay it down on this table, we're gonna kill you after you eat all these fingers. Thanks for dying for us, buddy, thank you. No, he's literally surrounding himself with good people that actually love and appreciate him. And that's a good death. And we talked about this in chapter 1. So I'm digging this, I'm digging it. So on page 5, they actually managed to locate the curse user themselves. On page 6, we have Nobara again. It's a pretty cool shot of her falling down this building. The guy's getup is pretty slick. You know, it's a hoodie with the mask. He's trying to conceal his identity. And on page 7, we have Yuji and Nobara, you know, but hitting the hero pose, the Avengers pose, and they both look at each other because they're, you know, being affected by the curse user. They're both seeing each other like, whoa, and they get the Snapchat filters on. And on page 8, as the curse user is attempting to run away, he actually runs into Divine Dog. I don't remember Divine Dog being this big. Even when Megumi was like trying to intimidate the scorpion hair girl, I don't remember it being this big. But I love the design of Divine Dog totality, man. I absolutely love it. But yep, they actually end up capturing this guy without much of a fuss. And they attempt to ask the young woman, hey, do you know this guy? What reason would he have to do this to you? And she's like, oh, nope, I have no idea who this is at all. And the guy, you know, rebels, and he says, oh, you fucking bitch, who bought you that bag? And coming to find out, the guy was actually just this random creep that bought her this bag while she was just working at her job. Kids, please don't do this. If you, bro, listen, Riz tip of the day.
Riz tip of the day, nigga. Shut the fuck up, nigga. Don't say nothing.
2, don't spend money on women that you don't know like that. I'm being so serious too. Number 1, have some self-respect. And number 2, bro, understand that your finances are important, brother. Your finances are important. Your money's important. Listen, bro, once you get into a relationship and you want to buy your girl her, you know, her pedicures, manicures, and all this kind of stuff, sure, man, cool, whatever. But bro, if you are trying to gain a woman's attention, do not just throw money at her, because a lot of self-respecting women are gonna think, hey, I'm not a stripper, don't do this to me. Had to put y'all on game real quick, my bad. And so on page 12, actually, Yuji tells the young guy, hey, don't look so glum, it's not like you're gonna be executed or anything like that. And he asks them, what are you guys gonna do to me? He says, I'm well past the age where I should know how to communicate properly. I even pin the blame on her. And so we actually transition over to a flashback. We transition to the scene where Yuji is having this conversation with Gojo. And I was thinking that this is gonna be where the story bookends, and I thought this was gonna be the last scene in the manga, but it's not. But I love this scene regardless. Yuji says, I thought that after Kusakabe sensei, I'd do some switch training with you, Gojo. And Gojo says, I guess that'd be fine, but how do I put it? Haven't we had enough of Gojo Satoru? And Yuji says, what? And then Gojo says, I want you to be a bit more forward thinking about your own future, Yuji. He says, yeah, sure, there's a dream I want to carry on in my wake should anything happen to me, but if this is where I bow out, there'll be a time where you guys grow up and more than I ever did. He says, I think there should be at least one among you who forgets about me and develops strength completely different from that of my own. And Yuji's sad. He says, none of us could ever forget you. You kind of seem out of character. You seem a little timid, a little retrospective. Are you okay? And Gojo laughs at me. He says, you're such a kid. This is confidence I've never had before. I'm expecting great things from you, Yuji. You got that? I absolutely love this scene, man. This is fantastic. And this is everything I could want from a scene like this. We very rarely get moments of Gojo sitting and pondering and thinking to himself. We never get to see Gojo get introspective and think about the world around him. We saw it in chapter 236, but before that, even in Hidden Inventory, we didn't get a lot of Gojo's thoughts solo. And so when he says, hasn't the world had enough of Gojo Satoru, it really makes you think and put into perspective. This man has been a tool of jujutsu sorcery since he was born, basically. His own birth transformed the way of Jujutsu Society even working. People got stronger, curses got stronger. Again, it was said that it was like when an athlete hit a new record, everybody else is trying to beat that, trying to level themselves up. And so when you have Guiezao pose that question to him, are you the strongest because you're Gojo, or are you Gojo because you're the strongest? He thinks to himself, and he's like, dude, I want you kids to not worry about me. I don't want you guys to forget me, but I want you kids to live for yourselves. Gojo doesn't want to be the solution to everybody's problem. Yes, he has things that he wants to do, and he wants to see his students become stronger than him, and he wants to see their progress. He does. He loves his students. But also, he doesn't want to be dependent on. He doesn't want to be this pillar that everybody in the world depends on and knows. Honestly, if I had to make my own headcanon for Gojo, he would just be his own. He would possibly have his own school or something like that, something small. I don't think Gojo would want to live in the jujutsu limelight as a celebrity. He seems exhausted at this point. I absolutely love this chapter. I love this chapter. I said it. Yeah. Again, fantastic moment from Gojo when he says, I'm expecting great things from you, Yuji. I ain't gonna lie, man, that got me a little emotional. Little segment that we're gonna talk about here in just a second. This man, we gonna get there. We gonna get there. And so Yuji tells this guy, you acknowledge you messed up and that's all that matters. Take some time to reflect, then come help us on our next mission. I'm expecting great things from you. Yuji saying what Gojo said to him. This is great because as these were being shown, I thought back to Junpei, and this is a great callback because Junpei was able to help this young man out. And unfortunately, he couldn't do this with Junpei, and Yuji's not trying to make the same mistake again. Junpei, he was lost, he messed up, he did some bad things because, he was obviously being manipulated by Mahito, and he had just this whole crisis just thrown upon him, and he was being manipulated from jump. And Yuji, unfortunately, was not able to help him to the fullest extent. He wasn't strong enough. But here, Yuji's actually able to make a difference in this young man's life. Fantastic throwback to one of the first arcs of JJK. Great job, Gege. Loving it. And so Nobara asks him, hey, what'd you do with that thing? And Yuji says, oh, I tossed it. And they say, what? And then Yuji says, it'll be fine. Not like it's anything dangerous anymore. It should be the perfect talisman now. And then Fushiguro is like, oh, dude, come on. Like, we need to get rid of this thing. And Yuji says, it's all good, while he's looking at his 2 missing fingers. Yuji looks up at the sky, preparing for the future ahead of him, and we actually transition to Mahito talking to Sukuna in the afterlife, or in this realm between the afterlife and the living. Just like how Jogo was talking to Sukuna. And Mahito says, "Hey Sukuna, who'd have thought I'd see you here?" Sukuna laughs and he says, well, he said, "What's this, our second interaction?" Mahito says, "My technique messes with the soul after all. Consider this a vestige. Welcome to the pathway souls walk on their way down the cycle." Mahito says, "You were lying, weren't you? To yourself and to others. You weren't living according to your own stature. You wanted revenge against those who resented and persecuted that cursed, unwanted little wretch." And Sukuna says, "What's the difference? Living the only way I know how, that's how I choose to go on." So Mahito's saying, you lie. You don't live for your own appeasement. You live because you want to take revenge, because you were hurt. Hurt people, hurt people. You've heard that saying before. And Sukuna says, "It doesn't really matter either way. I just did what I wanted to do." Sukuna looks up and he says, "Actually, no. I did have different paths to walk. 2 to be precise. And yet I couldn't help but spit out the curses stirring deep within my viscera. I feared my own curse would immolate me." Sukuna puts his hand on a young crying Uraume and he says, "If there is to be a next time, perhaps it would be nice to try a different path." Mahito says, "What's that so boring? You've gone so soft, asshole. What's the deal?" And Sukuna says, "Naturally. I lost after all." Mahito says, "So what? I'm the only one sulking like a child." And then Mahito proceeds to throw a tantrum. And this is the last we ever see of Ryomen Sukuna. Man, when I first saw this, and even now, man, I'm getting a little teary-eyed. This is a fantastic conclusion to my GOAT Ryomen Sukuna. Now, as to who this woman that Sukuna is referring to, this could be a lover that he possibly had in the past, but what I think it possibly could be his mother. I think it could possibly be maybe something that his mother, maybe some dreams or something like that his mother wished for him. Maybe his mother didn't mean for him to turn out how he did. It could be something like that, but Sukuna chooses to take on a path of actually thinking to himself, what if, and it is a very far if, what if I actually took on more of a nurturing role? He puts his hand on a younger Raume's shoulder and he's thinking, and I'm not saying Sukuna wants to be a parent or anything like this, but that's the kind of light that we're being shown here. But Sukuna is just thinking to himself, he's like, you know what? Instead of being consumed by this revenge and all this, what if I do switch it up? Do you know what this tells me? That Yuji's words, that Yuji's domain expansion actually did have an effect. That he actually, after being enraged and all this, he thought about it and he said, you know what? Maybe this kid's right. He may not acknowledge outright that Yuji was right, but Yuji relating to him, Yuji telling him about all these different experiences that Yuji had growing up, having, doing archery, hanging out at the arcade, hanging out with his grandpa, all this stuff. Sukuna didn't have that. He didn't. He was forced to be the strongest because that's all he knew. He wanted to get revenge. He was hungry. He was cursed. He was spat upon. So he thinks to himself, maybe I don't outright want that, but I want to try something different. Maybe this isn't it all my life has to be. Sukuna, when he talked to Yuji many chapters ago, but it was a chapter 248 or 245, whenever he's talking to Yuji and he says, people have a different flavor whenever they are devoured, and that's an adequate time to pass till my death. But we see here that he doesn't feel that way. He finds a different flavor. That's what he finds when he's walking into the afterlife. This is a... Ooh, Gege, that pen was on. Ooh, that pen was working. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Gege, I commend you. This is an absolutely fantastic conclusion to my GOAT Ryomen Sukuna. And people were surprised. They're like, oh, Sukuna didn't have he didn't want to get back at Yuji, didn't have a contingency plan or anything like that. No. Sukuna, when it comes to being defeated, he outright told Yorozu, if on God's green earth you manage to beat me, hey, you get to do whatever you want, because I lost. Sukuna's not a sore loser like that. He's gonna try his best to win. But when it comes to being a sore loser with Yuji, that's different. That's different. But anybody else, he's like, you know what? No, I lost. Power is the only thing that Sukuna sees. So if there's something that's stronger than him, or he failed to meet up to his own standards, that's just how it is. Fantastic bookend to Sukuna's character here. I love the little throwback to Mahito, man. I love him showing back up, man. And so with this, we see Yuta, Maki, Panda, Inumaki. A little cute moment, actually. Yuta and Maki both have the same sword sheath. That's very cool. We see Kirara, Akari. We see Yuji, Megumi, and Nobara off on their next adventure. And then we turn the page to see the Sukuna finger locked and hidden away, just like how it was in the very first chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen. And that'll do it. Man, I feel like such a dummy for making that first video I did, because and I'm generally seeing a lot of opinions turn around on this chapter. This is great. This is great. I know a lot of people are gonna disagree with me and say that, oh, this ending was rushed and da, da, da. And there are definitely some elements that I think could have been done better. Absolutely. But the emotions that rush into me when I see Sukuna's conclusion, when I see Gojo talking with Yuji and he's like, kid, I want you to live your life. Gojo has wanted to protect these kids from jump. He's threatened these Jujutsu higher ups. He says, if you interfere with their futures, I will kill you. I will side with them no matter what. And he ended up acting on it. Seeing Yuji being able to actually live out his life with people that love him is absolutely fantastic. This is what I wanted, and I would have loved to see his grandfather's reaction. Maybe not like a JoJo, see his grandfather in the sky moment or anything like that, but I think that this is very well done. What I wanted to see Kenjaku interact with Yuji, past chapter 136. Oh yeah, absolutely. But man, I love it. I love Jujutsu Kaisen throughout all its shortcomings, throughout all the hype fire moments. And don't ever let anybody tell you Jujutsu Kaisen was bad. They got 100 million copies in circulation, one of the top selling mangas of all time. Ain't nothing trash about it, I'm gonna tell you. But this manga is so special to me, man. I absolutely love it. Wow, man. I mean, obviously this is not gonna be the end of Jujutsu Kaisen content on my channel. No, I don't think so. But man, this story is over, and I'm sad, man. I truly am. This series means so much to me. This series is how I met so many of you, and this series is how my channel, got at least a little tiny bit of traction. I owe this series a lot, man. Dude, the 5 years that are about to pass by, man, I'm sad, because obviously we're gonna get Gojo vs Sukuna as a movie. I don't have any information on that. This is a theory, because it's gonna make a shit ton of money. And then we also have season 4 of Jujutsu Kaisen, which will presumably be the last. But what a ride it's been. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. Jujutsu Kaisen, the fights, the hype, the characters. There's something for everybody in this manga all over the place. Even if you do think that the writing's on the wall sometimes, and you think that there are some things that haven't been seeded, there's definitely something for everybody in this manga, man. I'm so serious. My man Yuji, he really had that Goku arc, that Deku arc, that Naruto arc. His arc was flat for the kind of. He has moments with Mahito where he talked about his worldview and everything like that. But the fact that Yuji actually managed to get through to Sukuna and actually got him to feel something, the king of curses on his way into the afterlife, forgoes his title as a curse and actually chooses, if he gets another chance to live as a human, that's big. That's big. Fire, man. Yeah, there's people that actually were upset there wasn't really like a huge fight or anything this chapter. I don't know what the fuck y'all expected, to be honest with you. People are saying, oh, this is a Disney Channel ending. Dude. Most series that you watch are a Disney Channel ending. The protagonist doesn't have to die. Even when protagonists die in series, it's still a very happy ending. There's still a resolution to it. Look at most media. Not the endings are sad or shit or anything like that. It's not. Attack on Titan, as dark as that is, even though the main character died, most people lived. I say most people, most of the cast lived. You know what I mean? Also, this is incredibly disrespectful. There are people out there that are actually thanking Maya Mora, a thief, for this Japanese comic book, instead of thanking the actual author for which they are reading his content. That is fucking crazy. That's a next level of disrespect. Listen, I know I'm not that much better than Maya because I'm making reviews on leaks and stuff like that. I understand that the pot calling the kettle black. I get it. But I wouldn't want you guys thanking me for going over Jujutsu Kaisen and all that. Thank Gege. We have nothing to do with it. Absolutely, that's so wild and disrespectful, man. Oh my God. But I don't want to end this video on a bad note, man. Let me know what you guys think about this into Jujutsu Kaisen. I've been seeing a lot of people say this with the full context of this dude, my computer doesn't shut the fuck up. Dude, stop. I've been seeing that a lot of people, this changes their opinion in everything that's happened. But yeah, I'm gonna miss this series, man. I am. If Gege decides to have another crack at it, or you know, his health improves vastly and he decides to do another weekly series, I'll be here for it. Seriously, I will be. This is his first series. This is his first outing as a, you know, a record holder on the Shonen Jump lineup. So he made some mistakes along the way, most definitely, absolutely. But there were so many more good quality moments that I definitely feel like this show, this series is in my top 10, top 3, easy, top 3 series, easy. Season 4 of Jujutsu Kaisen. I apologize for the person I will become at that point, because I will be hyped and screaming along with y'all week to week. I don't give a fuck, man. I'm wilding out at fan animations. When I get that official product by that Mappa sweatshop, it's gonna be hot fire. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below what you guys think, man. It's me, boy Daffy, guys. Thank you guys so much for reading and discussing Jujutsu Kaisen with me, man. We're still gonna talk about some things and thematic elements in Jujutsu Kaisen. But yeah, it's me, boy Daffy, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this video. Please make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Please make sure you take care of yourselves, guys, and have a good one. Peace.